Hey, what's happening, guys? Fitfather back again with another deck profile. So today, I'm trying to make this really fast. Get the little one sleeping in the other room on solo dad duty for the next couple of days. But so yeah, gonna try and make this as quick as possible. So I've been play testing with this. Went to locals, playing my blind second build. I've been loving it. So I dropped the super poly for my main build. Um, I really like Super Poly. I think it's amazing. I think it's really good going to this format. I just wanted to play a little differently and not have to eat up the extra deck space. I probably will go back to playing that because that's my preferred preference of playing. But I've been having a lot of success with this. This is again still a blind second build. I tweaked around a couple things, and you're gonna see it. And I'm gonna spark some controversy again. I got a lot of comments. People like looking like wow, that's wild. Can't believe you did that. Again, I appreciate everyone who comes in, looks at the video, comments, likes, you know, gives your constructive criticism or questions. And I'm sorry if I haven't gotten back to everyone. Just life happens. I do this for fun. I have a couple videos from locals, but I'm gonna try and edit some of the audio. Just because unfortunate locals people get a little rowdy and unhinged. And I try to keep us a very family friendly channel. I'm not really about using a lot of profanity and stuff like that. And unfortunately, in the background, it just kind of gets kind of crazy. And you know how locals can get. We're all adults playing a children's card game. Um, but yeah, let's start things off. I'm gonna have two back-to-back profiles coming up, so this is gonna be two separate videos. But yeah, this is a 44 card deck. I've been playing this again on Omega, having a lot of success, and I feel like it's for me personally how I play. It's the right move going forward. Um, so yeah, let's get started. Starting with heroes, two Stratos, one Shadow Mist, and one Neos. Standard for the hero package. For me, I do have a spicy take that I've been playtesting that I actually do like, and I'll show you a little bit later. Destiny Heroes, Denier, 3 Mali, nothing changes. Um, I will still say Plasma is a brick. Vision Heroes, the Solo Ferris, one increase double Vion. That will not change. If anything ever changes, it'll be Vion to 3. If I ever add anything more, if I ever decide to go completely mass change turbo, Vion would go to 3. Now for the evil heroes, Dusted Gold, Prison, and Toxic Bubble. Again, I will say Bubble is a great extender, and he's probably in my opinion better than Liquid as a draw too, just because at least for me how I play, I never ever have an issue with um, him not being there. Like I never had an issue with not having an evil hero on board and me not getting that draw two off of it. So there's that, and then last but not least, the three Molchami Flalos. I've actually been playtesting with the quick play draw two, and I have to obviously run more quick plays in the deck, but I do like it. I do like that quick. Let me see if I just grab it here real quick. If I have it in here in my deck box, I keep all my little extra cards. I kind of like toss in and out. Where is it? Hopefully I have it in here. I think I do, unless I took it out. Oh yeah, the Radiant Typhoon Vision. I think this card's really good. It's basically Lord of Darkness for quick plays. And the nice thing is I've actually run into it. Swapping out the Molchamis for this. I've actually run into playtesting online. The like me having the quick play, but me just discarding the two cards like knowing, all right, gamble on the draw two. If it's trash, I discard it and that's it. And the build I play with this, where I'm discarding, like say I'm discarding poly, I'm actually running two Wonder Driver just so I can guarantee myself like getting the recovery back, which actually might start going back to running two Wonder Driver anyway. Um, just because I just think Wonder Driver happens to. I think he's just because like I've run into issues where I don't have the extension, I don't have the way to get back into it and get that poly back, and I'm kind of a sitting duck. I'm sure all heroes kind of run into that, but yeah. I just tilt this just a little bit. There we go. So yeah, back to the spells for the actual deck. We're gonna do Mass Change, Poly, Dark Contact, Miracle, and I decided to add something because I was really curious on how it would play, and actually I'm back to playing it. Just because of I want to make sure I get Toxic Bubbles effect off. I'm actually back to running Dark Fusion, and because I'm playing Blind Second, it actually comes in quite often where I'll summon out the Dark Neos or the Malicious Bane. You can now they can't target it. It can't be sure by battle card effects. They can't target it now. Card effects for that turn. Blow up their board. I've come into a couple of games where this actually came in such clutch, and again the recovery with evil assault, where you can banish it, get it back to your hand. So there is that. I really like it. I've actually been playtesting with it like quite a bit, and I'm back to just being in love with it. And it's the ulti rare, so from the OST pack. So there is that too, which it's just pretty. Um, Going in for breakers now. We got this is basically rest of non-engine talents, 3 thrust. Going to do 3 Raigeki here. I like Raigeki. I think it's really good. I've actually come into a lot of I've not had a situation where Raigeki has not won me games. So I actually one game against Fire King online. I Raigeki them, activated talent, drew 2, got another Raigeki, and just blew up his recovery board. So again, now we got 1 Dark Ruler, 2 Lightning Storm, and 3 Droplets. Now, my thing is, I don't have a 3rd Lightning Storm. I don't own one. I might buy one. I don't know. It kind of just, I'm so used to having just the 2. Like most of that stuff's just thrust targets at that point. Obviously, the 1 Dark Ruler is a thrust target. I might bump it up to 2 if I want. I haven't decided yet. But Lightning Storm, again, really good. I actually might drop it to 1 and do 1 thrust. 1 Lightning Storm. And actually even Dark Hole. I'm just considering just mass monster removal. Or just maining a Dark Hole. 2 Dark Holes into the deck. I just want to blow up my opponent's monsters. Of all the things I've noticed that I have a hard time getting around, it is just the monsters. And blowing them up, dropping Dark Ruler, negating effects, blowing up their board is amazing. And the thing is, I with Evil Heroes, you have 2 monsters that cannot be destroyed by battle card effects. Drop Dark Hole, your monsters are fine. The same thing with using DPE, targeting your monster, or non-targeting, but popping your monster, and then just getting basically a free destruction with no cost. But yeah, then we got Rhoda. I'm actually back to running Rhoda and Foolish. So now it's 14 engine, or 14 starters, I should say. Because this is the 44 card build. But I threw it back in there because you're about to see something that you're about to get even more flack for. But again, shout out to eHero Forge, because he mentioned this in one of his comments, in one of his videos, I believe. Is either in his comment or his video, he was talking about dropping a card to 1 Um, and I play tested it, brother, and I'm going to tell you right now, it actually works out just how you expect it to. So you're about to see it. Again, one evil assault. Just three, like I said, three hero lives because this is a 44 card build. I want the third in there. And then last but not least, here's some more controversy. Because again, one Fusion Destiny. Just one. And I have not run into a situation yet where I wish this was Fusion Destiny. Or I wish this was Fusion Destiny. Having that spread like that, because a lot of times I end up eating through everything, right? Opening this is great. I can thrust for this if I need to. But this is not the card I want to open. This is like I want to thrust for this. I'm in such a dire situation. I have not had an issue yet, it being at one. Just because of how fast you burn through everything. Again, I also don't have a secondary target. A lot of times you're going to burn through your resources. You will burn through things much quicker. And again, shout out to eHero Forge on this one. That was a great idea, like a great thought, and I actually really love it, and it works out really well, especially with 3 thrusts in the main. If they ever limit thrust, then I'll bump it back up to 2. And then last but not least, favorite contact. But yeah, that is it for the main deck. Like I said, that has 44 cards. I had a 42 build. I tweaked the 42 build before. And I was not running Toxic Bubble. I was running, actually, and I'll say this right now, I like it a lot. It's really cute. I was actually running Bubble Man. Because I'm running so many breakers and so many spells, Bubble Man's special, like having no cards in hand, summoning him from hand, comes up a lot. Like a lot. And a lot of times I'll end up summoning, because he's also a warrior, which is really the best part about it, is say like I'll have like summon Vion send, have Bubble, and I've had it where I've had Bubble Man in hand or Rhoda. Rhoda for Bubble Man, set everything else, summon him, and then go off. Like, I think people forgot about him and just wrote him off because we have all the other hero stuff. But if you run the builds like how I'm running it, with more spells and less monsters, you actually get him off quite a bit. And if I'm not, when I decide to like swap back out the evil hero stuff, like Toxic Bubble will become Bubble Man. And I haven't yet run into it, but in like live duel, like a lot of my actual duels, if I actually ran into a situation where I actually probably would have gotten Bubble Man's effect off. Because I had no cards in hand, no cards in the field. I got completely blasted. And that would have been great because the top deck was a Toxic Bubble. My board and everything was clear. And I would have if that was actually a Bubble Man, it would have been 2 more. So he actually is doable. I think people, again, wrote him off. You can, again, run absolute 0 into that. But, again, without trying to get this too ranty, I'm really, again, trying to keep this quick as possible before the little one wakes up. But, yeah, no, I think it's good. If I'm not running the Dark Fusion, I would definitely run that. If I took out Dark Fusion, right, I would run either another Breaker, or I might run a second Poly just to have that, because I again, having Recovery and just kind of going back into things. Or again, I just probably run like the third Lightning, either a Dark Hole into the deck just to kind of have more explosions, or maybe in Harpy Feather Duster. But I just, again, like I said, I want to just crack the board, but I like having that. But yeah, I think Bubbleman's actually really cute. So yeah, off to the side deck and extra deck. Going off with the extra deck first. We got Dread Decimator, the One Wonder Driver, the Visor, and the double Cross Crusader. I still really like this. I actually might take him out. Actually, no, I might still leave him in, only because say you get drolled, you can go into him at least, and you can make some pretty, strong. You can make a strong monster. Um, but sometimes I've actually noticed that I only needed the one Cross Crusader. Sometimes it really just depends, but I might take out Dread Decimator for a second Wonder Driver just for recovery and recovery alone. Again, so back to this. Neos Lord, Wake Up, Shining Neo Swingman. We have Bane, Infernal Rage, DPE, Darkest Night. I threw him back in because I'm running Dark Fusion. Otherwise, I'd take him out for either Absolute Zero, because I'm swapping out the Bubble Man, Absolute Zero, or a second Wonder Driver. And Brave Neos tossed in. So a lot of times I've come into the issue where, again, with Sunrise and Darklaw. So I've come into an issue where I'll get Infernal Rage's effect off, but I've already used Sunrise, right? I've already used Sunrise for that turn. I want to at least be able to tribute into a monster. And the other thing is too, like, he's also fodder for Neos Lord. You summon, like, say you tribute out him, you can still summon Neos Lord using him, because he's a fusion. It's Elemental Hero Neos, or a fusion monster lists Neos in the card text. So he is a viable target for him. And that has come up. So, but yeah, like I said, if and when this, if I decided to like play around with it a little bit less and not less, but a little bit more and play the other build, I will definitely let you guys know. Like I said, I played it at 42 with Bubble Man, but again, I've also like just messing around with different deck ideas. I am not my biggest issue with me playing is I misplay, or like I'll misread something. I'm not as into things as I am, but like when I do play, like I haven't had issues with like extension or pushing. I just get outpowered. That unfortunately just happens. So, and I made a couple of misplays like IRL, which if I made a different play, I would have probably been a lot better for things. But that's like my big issues. I don't get out as often as I like. Even online, is a little bit different because Omega is more like how Master Duel is, the auto chain. You can kind of see what person's doing. So I use that to my advantage, but I don't get the IRL in person experience that I would like to get. And even playing on Dueling Book, you can kind of like you don't get that same level of in person reading expressions, reading everything like that. You lose that. But anyway, back to extra deck, side deck stuff. Nib, 2 Phantasme just for a lot of link stuff. I might just throw it to 3 Nib. It just depends. Everything's format dependent. 3 Droll. I really wish they hit this to 1 or ban this. There's no I'm not a fan of Lingering Floodgates. 3 Ash for the side. Again, just because if I'm going first, or I know like, okay, this deck is like Ash is a lot better at stopping this. I really have to stop this. Can't break out their board. I have to stop something. That's where Ash comes into play. And then I got the 1 Duster, Cross Out, Called by, Double Mash Change for going first, and just the 1 D barrier for certain matchups. Even if I'm going against, like, say, like Luna Light, and I have my monsters on board, right? I'm running fusions, but regardless, I'd rather just shut off my stuff and stop them from bringing out their towers. Like that. At that point, it's you need to shut them down one way or another, and if it means I'm getting the short end of the stick there, I'll take it. But yeah, that's it for the main deck profile. I'm gonna try and get more. I'm gonna try and see what I can do with the audio for some of those matches. I might have to cut some of it, which I don't like. But I'm gonna try and get some of the live duels recorded that I recorded kind of up, and I'm gonna try and get a lot more and just kind of just do like a big long playlist. There's like a large like dump of some of my live duels. So, but yeah, I hope you guys liked it. Hope you guys learned something, enjoyed it. You know, took some away from it. If you guys didn't like it, well, again, you always can learn something or take something positive away from something you don't like. So, that is my mantra. Every experience can be a positive experience, even the bad ones. You can take something positive away from a bad experience. So, I'm a glass half full kind of guy. So, but yeah, I will actually have a Genesis deck profile coming out in a little bit. I might record it right after this, or if I have time. But yeah, if you guys like it, and take it easy. Peace.